Start streaming. This case is so over the top. I haven't even, I just peeked in here and oh my God, this phone. I don't even know what to say about this phone. All right, let's start with the note. This is from Ferdinand. Ferdinand, who gave us a thumbs up on permission to record for YouTube, which we're gonna do. And you can tell this phone is gonna be off the scale because his passcode says, given the amount of time that's passed, I'm having trouble recalling. Normally that is a quick way to get to the bottom of the pile, but not for Ferdinand, because this phone is insane. Issue description. He says that about 1.5 years ago, so 18 months ago, this phone dropped into, quote, one of our process water tanks at my place of work. I'm pretty sure Ferdinand works in a meth lab. I've been trying to convince Ryan over here to help identify the chemical substance here. So far, he has refused. That's what, by the way, this we're having a challenge day at work doing data recovery. I think the loser needs to snort some of the stuff in this phone. I'm sure you'll agree. Yes? Yes? I mean, he's a competitive guy. I think it's
definitely a safety violation.
Safety, no. Ferdinand says we recently, as in, let's see, this got here on June 19th. So recently, Ferdinand emptied the said tank, the meth lab tank, and found this phone at the bottom of the tank. This may be a long shot. Maybe I'm asking for a miracle, but I'm hoping that you are able to recover the photos and videos. Ferdinand, that does sound like a miracle, especially because you don't know the passcode, but let's give it a shot. Mostly because this is I drew a stack of mostly terrible phones. This is the best phone. This is the most recoverable phone that I got out of my stack of, let's see who's gonna win the race today at iPad Rehab. Ryan's stack so far had a phone that just needed a screen and an easy short over there that, how you coming on that short? I mean, it's not that easy, just a little bit easy. All right, we're gonna take a stab at getting into this phone. This phone, it's pretty horrifying. All right, here we go. Cool shirt, Jessa. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Kaba. All right, here we go. We're going in. We're gonna take our first look at what, maybe this will be easy. You know, this is supposed to be waterproof, right? What is the rating for an iPhone 7 Plus? Isn't it gonna be like, you know, totally fine? All right, guys, let's all look at this together for the very first time. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, man. Ryan, let's trade. God. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna.
Phone, depending on what that substance is, could be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ferdinand, please tell us what process is this process? I'm gonna have to get some gloves. I'm gonna have to actually get gloves. It's happening. Oh, where's the gloves? Here we go. It is a rare phone indeed. I mean, we've had all kinds of phones in here with all kinds of problems. And when you work with primarily a bunch of moms, it takes a lot to make them actually have to go get gloves. I mean, we were professional ass wipers for years. Professional, like that was the job. Stay-at-home moms, professional ass wipers. All right, here we go. I don't even know if I can get this board out. This is something else. All right. Let's see. What do you think? What do you think this white stuff is, chat? Let's see. Maximum Schorf says, awesome. Glad I found this channel. Are you? We will need a chemist and a biologist. I thought somebody was gonna take chemistry or something. Who do I know that's a chemist? I feel like that's come up kind of recently. All right, good news. I was able to get one of the screws out. Earlier, I've never been more thankful than I am right now as I go after this phone. Is that rice? What if this is rice? Ryan, I think it's rice. Look, doesn't this look like pieces of rice? Look. Is it?
Oh, and that is much more mineral than rice.
Just taste it. You don't have to snort it. It's one. Look at that. That's not rice right here. Look.
Okay.
What if this is all rice?
That might be.
Look at that. Tell me that's not rice.
Oh.
That's rice.
So we now know what rice really does to phones.
Yeah, exactly. This is the rice video. All right. Well, it's been in rice, so let's just plug it in. It should start right up. Where's my charger? Let's see. Come on, baby. Here, let's wave the rice around a little bit. Oh, it's not working. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. All right, this is rice. It's a lot of rice. You know what? I figured it out. What he works at is a rice factory. He works in the rice paddies. This is like industrial production of rice. Well, I've never been more thankful than I am right now for stereo vision. Earlier today, I was at work and one of my contact lenses just decided to disintegrate and split in half right in my eye. And it's really hard, I learned, it's hard to get a contact out of your eye when it's in pieces. It's not round anymore. So that took a couple of hours. And then I was completely blind. Come on, where's the screw that'll actually turn? I was completely blind there for a while. So now getting to see again, it's just such a gift. It's funny, I've been thinking about that a lot, this idea that things that you're always going to be really proud of some accomplishment in your life that someone else, that's basically their everyday, right? It's kind of the world works like that. So I was talking to a mom who is an actual runner, unlike me, where sometimes I shuffle along according to the 5K training plan, which, by the way, find us on Strava and join the iPad Rehab Challenge group. If you too feel like you sit around way too much fixing boards and you would like to be healthy this summer, then look me up on Strava. Find me, Jessa Jones on Strava, and then we'll add you to the iPad Rehab training plan, which is super doable for anybody. Today is very easy. The only thing on the plan for today is rest, which I think is fantastic. So I met an actual runner, and I was talking to her about times and stuff like that. And I thought, her 1 mile time is pretty doable. It was 10 minutes. I'll never be able to run a 10-minute mile, but I was really proud that she could. And I was like, wow, that's really good. She's really accomplished. She's running a 10-minute mile. And then I realized that Ryan's cool down is an 8-minute mile. So it's there's always somebody whose your greatest accomplishment is basically their warm-up. And that's just the way life goes. All right. So getting back my vision today was really great, and it made me realize that I should stop complaining about not about having to wear reading glasses and not being able to see. I can see just fine, thank you very much. Look at all these screws coming out just fine. All right, somebody's rice is somebody else's miracle cure. All right, this phone is probably going to be fine. It's just going to go right in the ultrasonic and it's going to come out working. This is all just cosmetic damage, I'm sure. I mean, if this is really rice, if this was been living in a rice paddy, then it should be completely fine. Nothing wrong with this board at all. All right, what am I missing here? I don't even remember. Did I take out those guys? Look at this. Before I take this out, we've got to go under the microscope and get the full view. Yeah, full. It's not brown rice. How could they be so dumb? Oh yes, I missed that guy. Do you guys know what Chris is talking about? The classic video, which I need to find and repost. If you haven't found it, I'm sure somebody will put a link over there in the chat box, where the customer that came into the shop insisting that the shop didn't know what they were doing because they didn't try using brown rice. They were just trying to use white rice. What idiots. All right, let's go head over to, let's turn this off for a minute, turn this off, and let's take a look at this board. Tell me what you guys think this stuff is. This is 100% a grain of rice right here. 100%. That is exactly what rice looks like. You're not going to be able to convince me that that's not rice. In fact, here's some more of it. That is definitely rice right there. I am so confident that I will cook this up and feed it to Ryan. Here's another piece of rice. Look at this. You could actually make like a risotto in here. Like there's that much. What's this? It's a little orange gaskety looking thing. That is, you could, make a little salted rice dish right now. That'd probably be pretty good. Look at this. Rice, more rice. How do you get this much rice inside a phone? I really feel like how long does it take rice to grow? Is it like 1.5 years? I betcha that this process tank was some kind of place where they grow rice. And it just grew here from whatever rice seeds are. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look at this, is ridiculous. Broken up rice grains. This is insane. This is absolutely off the charts. But board looks okay, doesn't it? Board looks good. Look at these components. Looking good, looking awesome. And I think the biggest problem here is going to be, what the heck is Ferdinand's passcode? All right, let's take it out now. There we go. That is what it looks like. And I think we are ready to rip this sucker out, give it a bath, and then fire it right up. And then I'm gonna win, and it's gonna be awesome. It is gonna be totally awesome. Did you figure out what line is short?
Yeah, I know the line that's short, and then taking the cap off didn't solve it.
What cap? Let me see.
This one that I'm cleaning around to get a better view of now.
What made you pick that cap?
It's the only cap on the line. The filter's not going to go short.
Okay. Did you look for heat, or you just picked him because he was the only guy there?
Picked him because he was the only guy there.
All right. Seems reasonable. What do you guys think on chat? Will Ferdinand's phone boot? Oh yeah, there's the hidden screw right there. Will it boot before Ryan finds out where his backlight anode line short is on a water damaged 7 Plus over there? Now I'm mentioning that, Ryan, because you were a good sport on the other video, and now, out of the kindness of their hearts, I'm sure these people in chat will tell you exactly where to look. All right, let's look at the board on this. Enotech says, I don't trust that battery one bit. What? You don't think a battery that spent a year and a half at the bottom of a rice paddy that's like super puffy? Look at that! Never do that at home. This is super bad behavior. They're gonna tear up my Apple iOS certification because that is completely not okay, and I do not have my sand anymore. I had to give up my sand. All right, let's go look. For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to look at this board under the microscope. We'll move that over a little bit. Okay, on the back side of the board, So we've got a pretty serious main short right there. Ooh, that looks rough. I might be in trouble if it looks like this all the way under these stickers. And to be honest, I will tell you right now that if this board just comes back with ultrasonic cleaning, then, or if I pull up this sticker and there's no corrosion under there, I will change my tune about how crappy Apple's waterproofing is, because right now it looks like it might be fine under there. Let's see, here we go. We're gonna peel back the curtain. What do you think? Will it be a win for Jessa, or will it be a win for Ryan?
Looks like it might be one for Ryan now. I'm feeling a little more confident in this now.
On that phone over there? All right. Ugh. What is this? Rice juice, dried. That doesn't look too bad. All of that is going to clean off and it's going to be perfectly fine. Look at this. This is all superficial. Look at the actual components. No legit corrosion. So yeah, it's gonna have gone under some chips, like under audio IC, probably under baseband. But so far, this is gonna be no big deal, Ferdinand. You never know. Some of the phones that look awful end up being perfectly fine. All right, let's see what's behind door number 2. We got, gee, what is that? I'm like kind of afraid to even put it in the ultrasonic. Like, whoa, what is that? A bracket. Is there a giant hole in the board now? Nope, that was just a seriously corroded on bracket. Okay. Over here, it looks great. In fact, this board is in better shape than Ryan's board. This one's going to be a win. All right, now it's time for ultrasonic. What?
Short cured.
Short is cured?
Orange, I think.
Uh-oh, we better pick it up into high gear.
After I put it in rice,
Oh, did you want me to sprinkle some rice dust on it? All right. All right, that's going to take a bath in the ultrasonic for a few minutes. So why don't you guys on chat help me out? I've been wanting for over a year to do some kind of a rice video. And then I was like, nah, nobody's really putting phones in rice anymore. I am reconsidering that statement. So I have a couple of things that I'd like to do for an experiment. This is our, can you read that? Water damage treatment box. Do you see it? Can you tell what it is? Water damage treatment. This is our water damage treatment. It's a box of lizards. In fact, I might put Ferdinand's phone, swirl it around in the box of lizards. And I have this because the box of lizards has about the same amount of actual ability to draw water out of a device. The box of lizards is about the same as a thing of rice. So we were thinking about a way to do an experiment. I got this thing that measures humidity, and I was thinking of putting some phones in water and putting them into these 2 different things and maybe measuring the humidity in the air or inside there, I don't know. Help me work that out. One thought we were having recently was, what if we took sponges and we put like exactly measured some water so that they were the same and put them inside some phone housing like they were a battery, and then put those in the lizards versus the rice to work that out. So let me hear your ideas on how could we really establish that putting phones in rice is a bad idea. And it's coming up because of this phone. This is the 2nd or 3rd phone that still had active rice in it this like last couple of weeks. So let's see. Rice may be able to absorb humidity, but it sure as hell won't absorb shorts. Yeah, but it really doesn't absorb humidity either. That's just, it's added to the salt shakers in the Caribbean really to be a mechanical thing to break up the clumps, not to actually absorb water. That's always been largely a myth. In fact, if you look to see which has more water sucking power, paper towel or rice, the answer far and away is paper towel. Cellulose is really, really good at sucking up water. That is about to come out, and we're going to see. Oh, we'll have to call back there. Car warranty. Does your phone work?
More working than it was.
I see an Apple logo. It's going to work. All right. So now I'm just going to clean this off in alcohol. And I'm going to clean it off with a brush pretty vigorously. So Ryan, how did you find the short?
That was the region that I was getting odd in, but I didn't know those ones were.
So if you click the filter, it changes the name on the other side of the filter. So there was one little cap between the filter and the connector, and then if you click the filter, then you can see those other caps. So now you know that. Nice and learn the hard way, just like everything, right? Okay. I'm going to have to clean my methamphetamine powder off of my blue mat before I can even work on this thing. All right. Good job, Ryan. So that's 2 for you, right? Is that 2 or 3?
It's 2.
All right. That's tied up then. Oh my God, this is a mess. All right, here we go. The sponge is great, but you need to enclose them in their own box and put that in rice. Yeah, I was gonna take a sponge, cut it like the shape of an iPhone battery, put an exact measured and weighed amount of water, or yeah, I guess water, and then in 2 different phones, close up the sponge inside a phone, and then put each phone in its own box of lizards or thing of rice, and then come back and then just weigh the sponges, right? Because that would be like asking, did the rice withdraw through some kind of magic the water from the sponge? And then we could do another one where it's just left on the counter or in front of a fan or something like that. All right. Jessa, why do I never get these notifications? I miss Jessa and iPad Rehab a lot. Glad to be live with you in chat. Well, thanks, Yates Network. All right, let's take a look at this board. This, if you missed it, rewind. This board, Ferdinand's board came out of Ferdinand's housing. Here's Ferdinand's housing, which is still one of the worst I've ever seen. This phone has been in a process tank, which we're pretty sure is a methamphetamine producing rice strain where Ferdinand lives. And that's, I mean, look at this. This is absolutely horrible. This is so bad I had to go put on gloves, which I almost never do. All right, so now we're gonna look at the beautiful clean board with only its one bad VCC main cap right there. Look at that. And looks great. Doesn't that look great? Looks good down here. Look at how well it was all superficial, except for we don't know what's going on under these shields. Now this shield doesn't really have anything going on, so I never take that one off. This up here, we could run into problems. It probably is quite corroded looking around here. Not corroded, just that same mystery substance is under there. Okay, now before we do anything else, there's only one spot of actual damage, so we're going to use the multimeter to find out, is there a short on the main power rail, yes or no? And instead of measuring it here at the ugly looking dude, We're going to measure it over here at a pretty looking guy, because if a line is short anywhere, the line is short everywhere. And the line is short, so VCC main is indeed short. Why? Probably because of this guy. So now we're going to go ahead and knock that guy off. And let's see if we can do that. So why not measure right here at the ugly looking guy? Because if it's so bad, you might end up getting the wrong measurement just because you can't actually get a measurement on that guy. All right, so now let's go back and say, is that line still short? VCC main is no longer short. Yay! All right. No need for thermal camera. When you have worked on enough of these, you can just kind of figure it out. Okay, now let's find out if we can pull ahead of the race against Ryan so that he will have to eat this rice and not me. Let's see if we can do it. All right, so we're gonna put this into some kind of, let's see. There we go. We're gonna put this in a, actually, we're just gonna get some pieces. I'm not sure if this housing is known good or not. Maybe it is. Do you have the 7 parts, the 7 do I have to fight you for the parts? Is that what's going on here? Okay, because I'm pretty sure Ferdinand's screen is not gonna work. All right, is there another batch of 7+ parts?
If it was anywhere at the end of this bin back here.
In this?
No, she put the phone in rice overnight, but didn't turn on.
Let me see. Does it really say that? I was swimming with my iPhone 7 in a pool. I put the phone in rice overnight, but didn't turn on.
This is crazy. How many phones
What's up with the rice? Yeah.
Why is it not working anymore?
I don't know. Here, do you want the lizards? Why don't you just throw it in here for a little bit, send her a picture and say, rice is so 2018. You need to use lizards. I think we really should start making the water damage removal lizards for all shops. Everybody should have the box of lizards, in my opinion. All right. Yeah, we need to do something about this rice stuff. In fact, there was somebody, it was Matt Davis, that just posted an Assurian commercial or sponsored ad that said, the rice trick, blah, 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 blah. And I remember thinking, man, I can't believe that you're promoting that. It's crazy. The key is to feed the lizards rice. That's the magic, says Enotech. I believe it, Enotech. I like that. iPad Rehab, do you think the majority of the staining here was just from the rice that was put inside the housing and crushed between the... I don't know. It had a bit of... It was a liquid. I think there was a white crystalline liquid that had that sort of like crackly looking pattern on top of like audio IC. So there was a liquid, but there was a lot of rice. But that phone, I really felt like I was the first one to have really opened it. Like the adhesive was intact. However, it was a little bit kind of cracked at the end, so somebody like shoved rice. I don't know how they got rice in there. I really think my leading idea is that they put some kind of nano seed particles of rice that grew inside the phone, became a full rice plant. That's how the rice got in there. I don't really know. Mr. Titanium Dioxide uses grits. Let's go ahead and use the DC power supply because this is pretty off the rails here. I wish I had put this one in the lizards just to prove. In fact, I might even go back and make an edited video of putting this in the lizards just to prove that lizards are superior to rice. All right, let's see what happens now. Can we even see? All right. Greetings from Mexico. Thanks, Jose. Let's see what happens. All right, so we've got the before. And now we've got the after. I'll be bummed out if this doesn't work. It would be very fun to call up Fernand. I would really like to just know, and if I find out, I will update in the comments to this video. What do you mean by process tank? And get to the bottom of whether or not Ferdinand here is, what are you processing? All right, what do we have going on? We've got nothing going on. DC power supply has low current consumption. So not good. That means that we are going to have to take off the CPU shield and look under there. Are you cheering my failure? Hope not.
Perhaps.
Perhaps? Or did you solve another case?
No, I'm cheering failure.
You're cheering failure. That is some sportsman-like conduct. All right. Okay, we're going to have to take off this CPU shield here. I think that we may need to get the lizards out. We need to get some lizards out after all. All right, and we're going to have to figure out which chip. We'll have to take a look under here, but if not here, then we're going to have to figure out which chip looks like the housing of Ferdinand's phone right here. All right, let's take this guy off and we'll have a look. It will be kind of good for you guys to see how the reality of the fact that ultrasonic cleaning really does nothing underneath a shield like that. All right, let's go back to the hand camera and we are going to take this sucker off. All right, and I have to do another video that I promised Dakota that I would do if he did what he said he was going to do and got a tattoo of the shield removal technique for these phones, which is big nozzle, max heat, max air for anything that is an iPhone 5, 6 series, and then 7s and 8s are a little bit more careful than that. And he did. He went and he got that tattooed on his leg during practical board repair school. He got a tattoo that said max heat, max air, big nozzle, Jessa Jones. So I did get to achieve a bucket list of having my name tattooed on somebody's leg. So there you go, Dakota. I will make a video about your fun time here at Practical Board Repair School. And while we take this off, I think it's time for an ad. An ad for MacBook course. Don't be confused by imitation MacBook courses from people that have no experience teaching. You want to come to the original, the classic MacBook course with Tim and Jessa. Tim and Jessa is where you want to learn your MacBook training. All right, we're going to peel this off. And MacBook course is now open, now enrolling for September. Come and visit the beautiful Finger Lakes in September. Hang out, spend a week with Tim. Tim Herman of TCRS Circuit, the guy that knows more about MacBooks than anyone I know. Come visit Tim and Jessa at MacBook Board Repair School. Okay, let's take a look at this under the microscope. Here we go. All right, so under this CPU shield, just a little bit of rice made its way under there, just a little speck. And what do we have going on? Not too bad, doesn't look like there's any big anything going on here. Nothing to see here. So just a little bit of the same kind of standard fare corrosion. All right, let's keep looking around on this board and see if we can find any reason that it's not going to just boot right up for us, because it seems like it should boot right up. Everything looks fine. Let's look under these places where ultrasonic has a hard time. Here's where you can see, Chris, that there is liquid dried on the board right there. And that's hard for ultrasonic to get under there. All right, let's look around. So we could have some crud in a couple places, like under boost IC, audio IC, baseband, Homer. This is underfilled, so none of that. This looks like I think I will change the, oh wow, this is an underfilled TriStar. Never mind, I will not be changing an underfilled TriStar. Look at that. Have you seen underfilled TriStar? That sucks. And it's very interesting because on the 8s, you've got underfilled Tigris and these guys are underfilled. But over here, you've got an underfilled, weirdly underfilled TriStar by itself here on the 7 Plus, but none of this stuff. So that's kind of an odd choice. All right, how about Chestnut? Chestnut, the root of all evil in phones. Maybe there's a little bit of crud under there. Let me just use a little bit of alcohol, and somebody stole my toothbrush. Not to name any. So did that phone boot up?
Yeah. This one, I'm taking to Forensic Jessa.
Yep.
Has there been prior
Repair attempt. All right, let's do a quick consult.
stickers were not taken off by me.
All right, so you've.
They don't mention anyone else working on it. But they say referral source Fixmaster Mobile. So
Did you look at this board?
Yeah, I looked at it.
And you're not sure whether or not there's prior microsoldering?
Well, look right at that. That's on it. Can water do that?
No.
Okay.
Water cannot take a pair of tweezers and damage this chip
All right.
like that. Water can't put a big blob of solder right there.
Fixmaster Mobile.
The water can't put solder on the, so you tell me like forensically, what has been done here? Has this chip ever been off the board?
No.
Close.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it has. Yeah. And it's going to be all blobbed under there. Here, watch. Let's take it off real quick.
Well, I was looking, obviously the stuff around it has been knocked up.
Yeah.
How do you know that chip's actually...
Well, there's flux everywhere. There's paste everywhere. See a little tiny pot of paste,
Yeah.
paste. And then, this is just grossly torn up. And somebody has been like putting this back. This is all kind of like signs of overwork. And it has an unevenness about it that's a little bit maybe doesn't really jump out at you, but it's not perfectly flush. This one's perfectly flush. I'm not convinced that they've taken off audio IC. But this one definitely has. And if you think about it, like just from your experience, how did it get to have these marks? What is that from?
Tweezers.
Yeah, so that's tweezers, which means if you did that, you reballed it and stuck it back on there, right? So that's the how we know for sure that this chip has been taken off and then pushed back on. Plus, this is a common misconception, right? This guy gets hot anytime. See how easy that came off, and look at those pads. That's not normal, right? Those pads have been braided. Somebody braided those pads. That's how they got to be that flat. So somebody who's not a practical board repair school graduate, you can't tear up a chip. You know that, right? You can't take a bite out of it and stick it back on the board like that. See that? Like that's really bad. That's beyond just the sticker on top. That's like chewed up into it. All right, so look up what this thing does and see if you can figure out what does it do, and then see if you can think about why people are always taking that chip off even though it's never the reason why the phone doesn't work. Here you go. It's hot. All right. Now back to Ferdinand's phone. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Which camera are you using on your microscope? It looks amazing. We are using the one that is the one on the iPadRehab.store. So iPadRehab.store only has one microscope, one camera, and it's exactly what I'm using right here. All right, so let's do this. I just was gonna do a little bit of light cleaning around my underfilled TriStar. I had considered changing TriStar, but if it's underfilled, then I'm not really concerned about the fact that maybe water got under there. That's a definite no. And Let's see if I can find back my toothbrush. I'm going to go on a hunt for toothbrush. Toothbrush. All right, let's see who in chat is going to help out Ryan as he learns why do people constantly take off Boost IC on iPhone 7 Plus for no reason. Who knows why? Who is going to help him out? Who appreciates Ryan being brave enough to do an iPhone 12 board removal on stream the other day? And we'll just help it out. All right, we're gonna get a little bit of alcohol in there and clean it back up, right? Which Boost IC? The Boost IC. The one whose name is Boost IC. The one, if you look in the schematic, his job is to make a line called Boost, and it is the Boost IC, that one. Not Tigris, Boost IC. Ryan, what number is that chip? What is it?
2301.
Yeah, this one, Chris, Boost IC. See it? This guy. Ding, ding, ding. All right. U2301. All right, we're going to get rid of this. A lot of good suggestions. People in the chat know what's going on. But why do people take that chip off all the time? For no good reason.
My guess would be it's hot, so I think it's short, but it's just the thinnest wire on the line that goes.
Did you hear that? He got it. That's why I love Ryan. Come say what you just said loud.
People think that Boost IC is short because it always gets hot, but it's just the thinnest wire on some line that goes from main to a VDD boost. And so of course it gets hot because the thinnest wire is always going to get hot.
You got it. All right. So Ryan said that Boost IC gets hot because it's the thinnest wire on the way from DC power going in through the battery and main. It goes through the Boost IC chip, which acts like a thin wire, making it get hot when really this short is somewhere else down the road on VDD boost. So he figured that out. And now, Ryan, for your next feat, since I took that chip off and threw it away, you will need VDD boost in order to get that phone to boot, but you don't have a chip. I want you to look at the schematic and see if you can come up with a way to kind of substitute for that chip yourself. How can you provide VDD boost without putting another chip on there that generates VDD boost? I will give you a tip. What is the voltage on VDD boost? And that is one where you can actually, it's in the schematic on a note, which is another one of those. You can learn more on the schematic than on ZXW. All right, so we are gonna see what's up with Ferdinand's phone now. We've cleaned it up a little bit. And we are gonna just dry it off before I fire this up again. Just to rule out that a little bit of alcohol was making some kind of problem. All right. People probably take the CPU off because it gets hot while gaming. I wonder, that would be a very sad thing, but I bet you're right, and that is quite unfortunate. All right, let's see. We did have to learn the hard way when Sam built his first machine last summer. It really is not good to forget to order a CPU cooler and just not have one at all.
So
that'll really slow you down.
looks like it
Yes.
So if main is less than 3.4, then it boosts it to 3.4. But
Yes.
if main is holding 3.4, it doesn't.
You got it. So what is your plan then to deal with that missing chip? How will you figure out whether or not there's actually a short on VDD boost, or was guy before you just a total idiot and just took that chip off because somebody on the internet told him to do it?
I would just diagnose VDD boost.
You got it. All right, we'll find out if it's short or not, because you want to clear that short before you worry about putting that back together, if indeed it is short. All right, let's see what happens here. All right, so I've got my DC power connected again, and we are going to see, Ferdinand, do you have any life? Any life for Ferdinand? Oh, Ferdinand's got a short of some sort. Ferdinand's consuming 700 milliamps, which is sometimes what a 3VO NAND short would look like. So let's take a quick measurement and see if that is the case here. For the internet is not always right, says Nelson, just Nelson. All right. Let's see. So chat folks, you got it. You guys were on it. But of course, I'm not going to just tell Ryan to read chat. That would be cheating, and there is no cheating allowed. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, well, what is causing the problem here? I don't know. So we're going to have to look around for some heat. Yeah, all these common faults seem pretty okay right now. Unless I measured it the wrong spot. Nope. Okay, those all seem fine. All right, let's check back. Actually, let's check around display, because that is probably pretty likely. Let's see what's going on down here.
So,
What'd you find out?
well, this is unrelated.
Yeah.
But one of the ultra marathon I've run with,
Yeah.
ran a 50-mile race.
A 50-mile race?
He sent me a picture, captioned the aftermath.
Yeah. Jesus, that looks like this phone. Send him back a picture of this. It says, yeah, guess what I did today. Here you go. Go tell him, like, hey, I'm in a race myself. I don't have time to talk. 50 miles, that's insane.
He did it at 10:10 days.
10:10? See? That's what I'm saying. Somebody else's, like, amazing paces. Somebody else's pace that they run a 50-mile race on. That's insane. All right. Don't forget to find us on Strava so that you too can be shamed by people running 50 miles when you can barely slog around at maybe a quarter mile at 12 and a half minutes. Fun times. You too. Chris Long, are you running? I better see you on Strava. I'm going to be looking for you. All right. Who else is in chat that needs to join us and run? Anybody that feels like, you know what, it's true, I have spent a lot of time staring down a microscope when I should be doing some kind of activity. All right, we still have the 600 milliamp short. All right, let's see. Chris says he's a moral support runner. That is not a thing. Listen, Justin Millman is crushing it on Peloton every single day. Even Mark Schaefer is out there in the Florida heat running. So we want to see you. Personally, I think running, I'm not a huge fan of running. I can't wait to quit running. I will be quitting running as soon as I possibly can. But in the meantime, for a month or two, I'm going to be grinding it out. And then returning to the king of exercises, which is strength training. See you guys all there. All right, I need a thermal camera, and I'm going to come and steal it. All right, let's see. Thermal camera? Are you using it like right this second? Where's the other one?
It does have short on VG boost.
Okay. Do you know where?
No, I don't know where because
How are you going to find out with heat since you have no connection to that? I mean, I could tell you, but, you know, I'm not going to do that. All right. Mark is running in a Florida hurricane. Chris says he used to run 2 miles a day in college. Well, that was a while ago, so it's time for you to run 2 miles a day. I mean, don't you want to run 2 miles a day? It was so easy to beat me. Like, it's like you could beat me right now. Just walk right out the front door and you're going to be running faster than Jessa. And then you can post all your amazing stats and feel like you're really, really accomplished. Who doesn't want to completely annihilate Jessa? Everyone does. Like, it should be a sport. Beating Jessa. All right, let's see. Now this thing is not showing the 600 milliamp. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, where do we have, oh, came apart. Let's get back on here. Let's see. All right, where do we have heat? Show me some heat. Where is it? Tiny little corner here of the power management chip, but we're not going to be trolled by that either. We're going to go figure out what line is actually short. What line is actually short? Can you guys see? Little corner there. What does that mean? Surely it's going to be some kind of a NAND. Where is it? What is short? TriStar. I don't remember what that tiny spot of heat is, but we're going to remember exactly there. Do you guys see that spot of heat? We're going to come back right there, right on the corner of that power management chip. Let's see if we can see anything. It came apart on the other side of the board. Ferdinand, what is going on with your phone? It looks beautiful. Uh-oh. All right. Looks beautiful except for right here. That looks terrible. That spot right there is not good. All right, that is this coil. Now, coils themselves are never short. All right, we got to look up this guy. Right here. We're going to look him up. All right, we're going to disconnect some power. And we're going to say, what's up with that? What's up with this guy? Oh, we don't have any ZXW on this computer. All right, so we got to look up X marks the coil. Who wants to look that up for me and tell me right now what line is that? Oh, you guys can't quite see. Here we go. X marks the coil. See this? All right, where is that? Let's see. iPhone 7 Plus. Let's flip this over. And let's see, there's 3 dudes there. It's this guy. 1 V8 SD RAM. That's, I thought I already checked 1 V8 SD RAM. I'm pretty sure I already checked 1 V8 SD RAM. Am I wrong? Did 1 V8 SD RAM become short? Let's find out. 1 V8 SD RAM, aren't you? Yeah, you're this guy. Why are you, I already checked you. Yeah, I already checked you. You're not short. Am I on the right coil? Let's see. I think I'm on the right coil. Let's keep looking. I'd hate to have to get, yeah, that seems like,
Okay, before I do it,
yeah.
can I just put a jumper between the boost and the main pads?
You sure can. Ryan just asked, before I do it, can I put a jumper between VDD boost and main? Yes, you can, and you should. After you clear your short.
After I clear the short?
Yeah, because then, you know, you can clear, you don't have to, but you could clear your short right now.
What I can't figure out is how to clear the short without getting power through it.
Tell me about problems that you solved this week. One was really similar. How did you find what chestnut cap was short?
Let me try to remember.
Remember it was PP5V7? And it was a tiny little dude. And I was surprised that it wasn't the bigger dude. Remember that? How did you figure out that it was the little cap?
Was that not free spray person, which is just heat?
You used heat and you used freeze spray, but how did you get it to show heat when that's an output of chestnut? So if you don't have a screen plugged in and you didn't have a screen plugged in, how did you get to see heat on that line?
How can I not remember this?
I don't know. That's really a shame. If you did remember it, then you would be like so on your way to winning right now. All right, so on my board, I think that I have maybe a short between the power management chip and 1V8 SD RAM, even though 1V8 SD RAM isn't short. So that doesn't quite make sense to me, but it kind of fits this story. I'm really tempted to like fix the XW, but I don't think we have time for that. Let's see. I got to go to store.ipadrehab.com or ipadrehab.store to get another code and then plug it all in there. Yeah, so the one side, the Buck 3 LX0.
Oh, sorry.
Did you remember?
I do remember that.
How'd you do it?
I just put a wire on.
You put a wire?
Yeah.
Where'd you put a wire?
From the lead on DC power to anywhere on the boost, well, in this case, boost line.
Yes, so you injected voltage into the line with a wire. You got it. That is exactly what you did.
This person knocked so much stuff around that I have to figure out an actual secure place to put that wire.
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation here. Put it on this this guy here.
I can't see.
Do you want to borrow a broken contact?
Okay.
All right, back to this. I don't know, it's really weird. It feels like 1V8 SD RAM is short. All right, I'm gonna look to make sure that that is the spot that's getting hot and try to figure it out. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's see, who can tell me in chat what the common fault is? Come on, chat. How's your car situation? Is there an update? Yeah, the car situation is fine. I was gonna make a video, which I probably should still do, but I was waiting to make sure it's actually fine, because it seems a little suspicious, to be honest, that they kept my car for 4 days. 4 days, took it away in a flatbed, kept it for 4 days to tell me, finally, what was wrong with it, which is it wasn't plugged in all the way. The high voltage battery connector, they plugged it in all the way in the frame of the car. Let's see. Nope, not the common problem on the boost short phone. That one's an easy one. this phone. Why do I see I think my 1v8 SD-RAM coil getting hot, and yet 1v8 SD-RAM does not actually appear to be short? So I want to make sure that I'm looking in the right spot. So I'm going to go back to hand cam, and I'm going to plug this in again, and I'm going to look again to see where the heat is. In fact, so that you guys can follow along, let's use our good old-fashioned freeze spray. So our good old-fashioned freeze spray is going to show us we haven't done this in a while. But why not? We just kind of had some out the other day, and now it's just kind of around. Why not? Let's see. So I feel like the coil that was getting hot is this one here, but I might be wrong. So we're going to freeze spray it and see if that is indeed the case. All right, now let's prompt this sucker to boot. Prompt to boot. Yeah, there it is. That guy. See it? That guy right there. That guy right there. And if we look him up on ZXW, let's make sure that we're looking at the right thing. That, I think, is a different phone. What is this? This is a Intel 7 Plus. All right, so we got to find out what is that guy on an Intel 7 Plus, because I don't think he is. I think I'm looking at a Qualcomm, and that guy is 1v8 SD-RAM, so that doesn't quite make sense. Intel, show me. Intel. Is it still 1v8 SD-RAM? Is this the wrong board? What am I talking about? 7 Plus. Is this some kind of crazy phone that I don't understand? It's that guy. Also 1v8 SD-RAM. Right? 1v8 SD-RAM. 1v8 SD-RAM is the coil that is getting hot. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because coil is a wire and 1v8 SD-RAM is not short according to my calculations. So let's go back and check on that. In diode mode, that guy, why are you getting hot? I wonder how deep this tank was. I wonder if it had a chance of 0.29. Is that slightly low? I don't feel like it is. Hey Ryan, can you take a measurement? Are you on a 7 Plus?
Yeah.
All right, can you measure the diode mode at this cap by audio I see?
This would not be in my favor.
Wow, he said no. Okay, you will get shamed by chat.
What's it supposed to be again?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you.
I can't check it if I don't know.
All right, fine. I see.
What's the worst number it could be?
I see. All right, chat. What is the diode mode reading on 1v8 SD-RAM in the iPhone 7 Plus? Because I'm getting 0.289, which I feel like is pretty normal. But I can't say that it is for sure. And today we've learned that Ryan, super competitive Ryan, is refusing to assist, even though he has that same board right in front of him. I mean, I can kind of understand why, because there's been a lot of that similar stuff going around. But, all right, I'm going to have to look it up on somebody else's board. All right, that board is not out of its frame. Surely Chris is going to help me out. Let's see. I'm an Egyptian engineer in the field of mobile maintenance, and I can't pronounce your Arabic name. All right. Let's see. I'd pull audio IC because it was corroded. Not without knowing for sure the line is short. And I would think that it would be more likely to be TriStar Chestnut. All right, so audio IC would not be where I'm going with this. It could be though. Could be, could very well be. But it wouldn't be my first guess. But I'm not pulling anything off of this board until a multimeter confirms that I have a short on 1v8 SD RAM, which means I'm gonna have to come up with a 7+ that I can measure. And I will find one, Ryan or no Ryan. All right, let's see. This looks like a 7. 7 and 7+ are probably the same, right? Also a 7. Now I'm really regretting my decision not to fix ZXW. That might have been bad. Nobody will help me out. I will remember that. You are a world in the field of phone maintenance. Yes, Mr. Arabic name Egyptian guy, can you look up what 1v8 SD RAM is in the iPhone 7 Plus in diode mode? Let's see. She does not read our messages as I understand it. Yeah, she doesn't ever read messages. She can't really read messages because she's trying to multitask too many things. So she can't be bothered to read messages and chat because she's got to manage too many screens and whatnot. All right, no point in retracting the message. Pull the coil and replace it, as it could be corroded. All possible ideas, but first what I'm gonna do is I'm going to measure on a different board, and this is a 7, but I'm gonna say the 7 and the 7+ are pretty close. So we've got let's see, over here, 0.288, and on this board, 0.288. All right, so 1v8 SD RAM does not appear to be short. So we have to think now about it and see why would we be getting very precise heat there, because that is definitely weird. All right, let's look over here and see if we can figure out what the reason for that would be. Because it's really tough to work on something when you don't know with the multimeter what is up. Yeah, so the hot spot is at the PMIC and this coil, which would get hot for any kind of 1v8 SD RAM short, but it's just not short. It could be that instead of being short to ground, that it is bridged into some other line, like main. That could make sense a little bit. That could make sense. All right, but I don't really have a ton of time to mess around with it. So let's see. 1v8 SD RAM. I really wish I had fixed that. 1v8 SD RAM. What I'm going to do is I am going to see what gets hot if I inject into 1v8 SD RAM. Maybe 1v8 SD RAM is not short to ground, it's bridged into another line, and I might be able to see some spot of resistance. Right now, the only thing I'm going to see getting hot coming in from the battery is PMIC and this coil. So I'm going to go on the other side, somewhere else on that same line, and see if I can see what's going on if I solder a wire. What do you think, chat? What do you think of that strategy? So where I'm going to go, there's really not a lot on this board other than what's going to be really gross under chips. Except for this cap. That cap is jumping out at me is really bad. Right here, what is that guy? But I think I'm going to solder a wire, see if I can go on a hunt for heat that way. That is a TriStar accessory filter. Okay, then that is, looks pretty bad, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense with my problem. It looks pretty bad. Let's just measure around a little bit. Why not? 0.5, 0.5. Seems okay. All right. Where's a good spot to inject into 1v8 SD-RAM? Probably, let's see. Probably this sort of classic looking dude right here. All right, so Ryan, what did you find on your boost project over there?
I found that I'm bad at getting wires directly down.
Did you tin your wire?
Yeah.
Do you have
That's
36
smart,
gauge wire over here?
Yep.
I'm gonna steal some. Is it attached to that? That's loose? Okay. I just will take a small piece and then stick it back. All right, well, I'm about to do the exact same thing. I got to solder a wire on the 1v8 SD-RAM. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens right here. Chlorine damage. Did Ferdinand show up? Let's see, Cuba, check the back of the board for a troll. Water damage, TriStar 3V output, salt water. No, it's not chlorine, it's methamphetamine and rice, as far as we can tell. It was dropped into 1.5 years ago. This phone went to the bottom of a process tank. Maybe one of you guys knows what a process tank is. I don't know. Sounds like a process tank sounds like what you would say if you worked in a meth lab and you dropped your phone into the meth making tank. So that's what I think it's going. That's my leading idea. However, there was a considerable amount of rice in the phone. Hey Ryan, you want to watch how to make a jumper real quick? Like speed method. All right, so we're just gonna take it, we gotta have flux, and I'm gonna go over to like a bracket or something like that, and then I'm just gonna go like that, like on the bracket. And then it will go, right on my dude. As long as I've got like plenty of solder on there. So he's on there perfectly fine. And then I gotta tin the other end, which sometimes I'm a fan of just soldering it directly to the red alligator clamp. Same thing, puddle of solder on your desk, and then just kind of burn off the insulation a little bit. So there was so much rice inside this phone housing that we don't really know how it could have gotten there. All right, I'm going to turn my voltage down to 1.8 or less. And we're going to see part 2. Let's play what gets hot. What gets hot now? Let's find out. Alrighty. So this phone was dropped in the, quote, process tank 1.5 years ago, and it doesn't look like it's been in there a day over 1.25 years. All right, so when I inject in 1.8 volts, I do see current moving, which means something's going where it's not supposed to go. And now we're going to go back to a thermal camera and see what's getting hot now. All right, let's see what is getting hot now. Oh no, it is still that tiny little corner of the power management chip, which is very weird. Ah, and another spot right here. Ding, ding, ding. See it right there. Anything else? Survey says. Man, that would have been hard to find. Let's check on our audio IC. Audio IC looks good. TriStar area looks good. But we got a hot spot right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's kind of see what that is real quick. Oh, really ugly looking dudes over there. Okay, disconnect, and let's head back to the microscope and see what is what. So we are gonna look right here. What is going on over here, Ferdinand? Was your phone trying to make calls from the bottom of the meth tank? All right, let's look up these 4 dudes. Now, if we really wanted to, we could probably get precision. Actually, we got freeze spray right here. Why not get that precision? Because it's fun nostalgia day with lots and lots of freeze spray. Ryan, did you find your VDD boost short?
No, I burned the wire. So the temp number is probably like 7.
7?
I have a feeling this one's gonna work though.
Wow, look at the little ice crystals. Can you guys see that? Like going crazy. Wow, it's like a time lapse over there. Do you see that? The heat in the wire itself is making these guys. There we go. It's the chip. Look at that. There's a burn spot right here in the chip. That would be mighty, mighty hard to see. Oh, it is hard to see. It's hard for you guys to see. I want you guys to see that. It's the chip. This really kind of showcases the how thermal camera is really pretty awesome. All right, here we go. Connecting again. We have 500 milliamps. Watch right here. It's the chip. There, you can't see it, but there is like a burn mark in that chip, which is pretty wild. Pretty crazy. All right, it looks like it came out at, see right there, look at that, ding, 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 see it? See it? That is crazy. All right, they were trying to cook rice in liquid meth. While checking the recipe, the phone slipped from their hands. It's gonna be something like that. All right, we can see it. Excellent, excellent. All right, so that in hindsight, now that we know that that's there, as you look at this chip, it's mighty hard to see that. Mighty hard to see that, yeah, indeed, this chip is damaged. It's got a crater. It's all like little burnt substrate and stuff. That is pretty crazy. Now, we got to let it kind of warm up to room temperature before we can heat up and take that chip off. So let's look up. That chip, I don't even know him. He's an RF chip. Oh yeah, I do know that guy. Sure, Ryan, I'm happy to share with you. Here you go. No problem. Anything else you need? Always happy to help. All right, let's, all right, so that chip looks like it is VDD main. I don't know why it is crossed or how it's crossed with 1v8 SD-RAM or what's up with that. But we are going to assume that what's going on with this phone is that somehow through magic, main is connected together with 1v8 SD-RAM inside that chip somehow. Let's see, is there any 1v8 SD-RAM remotely near that? Let's find out. No, wait, there's a filter. There's another one. I don't see that connection. but we are going to go ahead and take this off. All right. Let's get her off. Did you find your VDD boost short?
No.
Very sad. I usually eat chips with guacamole, but that chip I will pass on. Yeah, I will too if it's got underfill on it, which it kind of looks like it might. This one might be hard. I'm definitely worried that it has underfill. There we go. Whoa. Look at that. Oh, that's a burn trace in the board. No, not internal board short. Would it be using VDD main and dropping the voltage to 1V8 for SD RAM? Well, I mean, 1V8 SD RAM is manufactured by the power management chip from VDD main, but so are all the other rails, so I'm still not seeing that connection. Unless, and I hope it's not this, unless this was layers in the board. Because look at this pad. This is really, really, really fried. This was on fire. Look at this entire area. It's burned, right? This pad here is, seriously burned and was at one time on fire, which smoked up through that whole chip. Right there, that thing. So what I'd be worried about is whether or not this was connecting to some kind of 1V8 SD RAM short, or not short, 1V8 SD RAM was connected to main internally somewhere in the board. I don't know. All right, now our diode mode was always normal on 1V8 SD RAM. So now we're gonna go back to DC power. I'm gonna get rid of my wire and we're gonna ask whether or not we still have this inappropriate current consumption. Is there something going on here or not? I don't know. We'll find out. Definitely a little bit on the weird side, but we'll see if we can keep going. If 4 volts has gone to the RAM, it's definitely GG. I hope you mean good to go. GG. Gas gauge, GG. Don't say that, Ryan. Great game. All right. Let's go back up here. All right. It's going to be good game from Ryan to me. Good game. Sorry. All right, Ferdinand. Now, here's where, let's do some kind of side bet, Ryan. I just may have cleared a short. Would you eat some of this rice in this phone if I put, well, you didn't even let me say the whole deal.
No.
If I put all the screws in before testing it. No? God, it's impossible to get kids to take a risk these days. All right, let's see what happens. Dare I even put a screen on it to see if this thing is magically healed? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking that if it's got that big of a problem to begin with, that it may now look, it's got the opposite problem than it started with. Now I think it might look actually better than it is, when originally it looked far, far worse than it actually was. But let's see. Let's see what happens. I am gonna put a screen on it. I'm going crazy. All right, here comes our DC power. And now let's prompt to boot. Prompt to boot. And I see 700 milliamps. That looks high. That looks not good. 800 milliamps, also high. Let's do this. Let's get a screen that we can see.
That short's gone.
You got rid of your boost short? What was it?
Yeah.
Was it one of the top ones up by the...
Right top left corner audio I see.
Okay.
It wasn't one of the ones that he was messing with.
It wasn't one of the ones he was messing with.
Which is very ironic. He messed with like everyone except the one it was.
Poor sad guy. Would you like to call him up and be like, listen, I know I just graduated high school, but I want to tell you where you went wrong, buddy.
No, but I will attempt to sell him some lizards.
I will attempt to sell him some lizards. Okay. Yeah, where you went wrong is you didn't use lizards. That's where you went wrong. All right. Let's see. All right, chat, help me out. What's wrong with Ferdinand's phone here? This sounds like you want to do a CPU transfer, iPad Rehab. Any continuity between VDD and 1V8? Hopefully not anymore.
It should need boost to boot, correct?
It does need boost to boot. That's why you got to put that jumper there. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. All right.
I'm not going to no screw this person. Or
You're not going to go full screw?
full screw this person.
Yeah. Ryan's got a signature for his repairs, which is he likes to put the board back in every screw, including pentalobes, before he tests his audio IC. But now he says he's not going to do it. He's not going to do that with that beat up looking water damaged board over there. Smart. He's learning already. He's come a long way since earlier today when he put all the screws in an iPhone before testing it. And it worked. And he failed to learn any kind of lesson whatsoever. All right, let's see. VDD RFFE VIO 1V8. The voltage on this line rises after starting the phone. It is not powered from the central power control. And I'm okay. Yep, it sounds like similar to 1V8 always, but not our line. So I'm not sure how relevant that info is. All right, now let's see what happens with this. All right. Hopefully that chip took the... Ray Johnson says, I will eat the rice. Excellent. I will package the rice up for you, and I will send it right to you. All right. After I first find out whether or not it is actually meth rice or not, because I just don't know. All right. Let's see what happens if we prompt to boot. Prompt to boot. Now it looks a little bit... it's still a little high. And let's see, is it able to make an Apple logo at all, or even attempt to? It looks like no. So I'm looking on a split screen here to see whether or not I can see anything, and I don't. So instead, I see about 700 milliamps, which means let's go on a hunt and see what looks like it's getting hot, which is probably now the PMIC itself was damaged from this problem. That would be my guess. Let's see, do we still see heat? And is it in that same spot or not? All right. Oh. All right, do you still need thermal camera? Is it over here? Oh yeah, all right. Do you think that this thermal camera is better than the student thermal camera? Oh, you know what we should do? We should hook up the one they want us to review. That's what I should do. That's what I'm gonna do the next time I come in here. I'm gonna make it so that chat can see what's going on. All right. Let's see.
That can sync to live stream from that camera.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would assume so, which would be cool. Although I love the Seek, and I don't love anything but the Seek. Yep, so we still got a hot spot right here on 1V8 SD RAM coil, and you can see a little bit of heat here in the SD RAM, which is definitely not my favorite thing. Definitely not my favorite thing. And if we skip that coil, you can see 1v8 SDRAM itself, not my favorite thing at all. And let's look around and let's look around. So a coil getting hot means that there's a short or a bridge somewhere past the coil. Otherwise, the coil would not, in fact, get hot. So that is concerning for the SDRAM itself. All right, let's see. And what else do we see? So we don't really see that getting hot at our power management chip, and it's definitely cool over here where we removed this problem. It's not good. So I'm absolutely concerned that there was damage to the RAM, which is really not good. Oh, disconnect. Let's reconnect. Definitely worried that the problem could be in the RAM, electrocution of the RAM itself, and that's where we've got to hold a ground, where the thinnest wire on the way there is that little coil. That's not good. All right, so when it's not disconnected, we do still see our tiny little spot at the power management chip. And we can see Tigris down there has a little spot of heat, but that may be because we've got it plugged into USB. So I'm going to disconnect USB. And Tigris cools down. And we're left with just that power management chip. All right, so now let's just see what happens if we break the connection. Let's remove that coil to break the connection between the power management chip and 1v8 SDRAM. And then we'll see if we can figure out, you know, whether or not we actually have RAM damage or not. So let's go ahead and break that connection. So we're going to remove that coil to break the connection between the power management chip and 1v8 SDRAM. And that might help us if the power management chip was electrocuted and is damaged, that we might be able to kind of figure out what side our problem is on. All right. Gotta run. Good seeing you, Jessa and gang. All right. Love iPad rehab. Hate Apple II. Brittany comment. What are you talking about? Free Britney Spears. Free Britney Spears. Yes. Free Britney. All right. So we are going to delete this guy. Does that phone work, Brian? About to find out. Well, you want to come over here? You can make it boot up, and then you can.
Well, I was gonna see if their screen works first. So.
Okay. Now, what was the story with your phone? Did it have a funny note?
Well, they put it right south.
Oh, it was that one. Put it in rice and shorted VDD boost, and then took it to another place. All right, we gotta dig out this coil before we can do anything here. It is not my favorite. Where is this guy? Here it is. Oh, it is getting later than I want to be. All right. I think this phone could be getting close to needing a lizard treatment. And then if we leave it in lizards overnight, it'll probably be fine. Oh, this coil is already pretty loose. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's fantastic. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. All right.
Do you have 7 parts over there?
Are you wanting to borrow some parts? I mean, I wish I could help you.
I would ask such a generous soul as yourself.
I would be happy to lend you some parts, Ryan. Do you mean 7 or 7 plus? 7?
7.
Well, I mean, it's all of my parts are on all of these ones that you gave me that were all shit phones that needed
Well, that's
all
where I'm
kinds
at
of
too right
stuff. Okay.
Except,
All right. Here, I can spare a dock.
okay, that could do.
Okay. You're gonna have to go fish for a screen. It might be on the one up front. Oh wait, here's a screen. All right, and a battery. Look at this. There you go. Huge score. All right. Now you remember that next time that I need something like a diode mode reading on 1v8 SD-RAM or similar.
Remember what?
All right, so now let's go ahead and just move our wire that we had right back over here, and let's do a little DIY 1v8 SD-RAM. We're gonna do a little DIY 1v8 SD-RAM. Where's my wire? It's gone? No! No, 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 no. All right. That phone was submerged in a fish tank for 1.5 years. The chipset must be corroded or something. It's fine. It'll be fine. There's nothing wrong. This is an iPhone. This is the best made phone in the world. This is the Titanic of phones. It's unsinkable. Nothing can hurt this phone. All right, 36 gauge wires. It's still back over here. I lost my jumper and I got to get another one. All right. I bet that Ryan goes home tonight and hits delete on his iPad Rehab YouTube subscription. I feel like that's where this is going to end up. All right, what side is 1v8 SD-RAM outgoing? It is the top side. All right, so we're going to stick a wire on here, and we're going to do a little DIY 1v8 SD-RAM. This is going to be one where it's a real drag. If it ever works again, it's going to be quite a bit of work. And old Ferdinand will be like, huh, yeah, I really wish I knew that passcode. And then I will break this phone in half. So there will be that. So everybody will get to see the fun, exciting conclusion of me blowing this phone up. In fact, I'm going to hurl it to the bottom of Honey Eye Creek in a fit of anger. That's likely where this is going. All right. Let's stick this on here. Okay, now we got to get the other end of that. Really regretting not saving my original jumper, but it has flown off my desk, never to be seen again. Does the phone boot up?
No, it has a short somewhere.
Somewhere where his his prior repair attempt is. Was he working in any other area?
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like there's signs of him working. It looks. I mean, he heated it up.
Let me know if you want a quick consult. All right, so I have now injected my own 1.8 volts right into 1v8 SD RAM, skipping over the power management chip. And I see 0.013 current. So that is progress because I don't see that high current consumption that I was seeing before. So good news. Now let's grab another DC power squid and see whether or not this phone can boot if you just say, forget about 1v8 SD RAM. So I'm going to disconnect that and plug this in. Plug in the screen. And now we got to get a different squid. And let's get back to the hand cam. Move that out of the way. All right, so we're going to get a different squid to fire up from the battery connector. And we will see. We will see if we get to break this board in half one way or another. Either in frustration over a missing passcode, or this thing's got some other problem. All right, so let's see what happens. We're going to prompt to boot. In theory, we're going to prompt to boot. Let's go ahead and put a dock on it so we can really prompt to boot for sure. All right, prompt to boot. All right, as soon as I prompted to boot, we have high current going into the 1v8 SD RAM. So it sounds like our short is indeed in the SD RAM. Yep, that SD RAM with 1.8 volts going into it when asked to operate. So the signal to the RAM, go ahead and go, is a giant deal breaker. So we can see that this will probably show the SD RAM lighting right on up. And this is going to get sad, sad news where it has...
He has an open line on one backlight anode and a short on the other. And he worked in that area.
Take off the short and forget about the other one. Did he work on the chip?
For some.
Okay. So you don't need backlight for data, right? So just get rid of the short and you'll be A-okay. All right, so what's going on with this one? We now, huh?
Thermal cam bandit.
Oh, thermal cam. Thermal cam bandit. All right, let's check our diode mode on 1v8 SD RAM. Yep, 1v8 SD RAM is finally and completely now short to ground. Sad, sad, sad. Let me, oh, maybe not. Let's disconnect that. Yep, it is, main is connected, I'm guessing. All right, let's do this little project. We're going to check the resistance to ground on this line and compare it to main. 1.3 mega ohms. And let's compare that to main. Let's see. 3 mega ohms. All right, so not connected right there. All right, let's try this 1V8. Oh, now it's back to what it was. Very weird. All right, maybe I'm not sure what's going on. Let's see. We have injected 1.8 into SD-RAM. We have main, which is holding steady at 0. And let's ask it again to try to boot. And let's do this. Let's take our current limit and change that a little bit. All right. Now, when we ask it to boot, prompting it to boot is really asking it to start using the SD-RAM, which we have under power, and it's consuming 0.013, so 13 milliamps, which doesn't seem like it should be a problem. As soon as we prompt to boot, we see 2 amps going into the SD-RAM. And that may be normal, I'm not really sure. Let's see. And then we see the phone hanging on about 400 milliamps. And I don't have a thermal camera. All right, so we will disconnect and disconnect. Let me see if it tries to make an image. So I don't know what the normal current consumption is for SD-RAM. We'd have to do an experiment. We'd have to do this exact same thing on a known good to figure out. Maybe it normally draws a super high current, and that's just its RAM-y way. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a way of the RAM. Ah, my light, no. All right, Ryan, fix that phone so that we can get the hell out of here.
Short's gone, so
Do you have to run like 1,000,000 miles today?
gotta run 10.
You have to run 10 miles starting like now? I mean, it's like, you know, a far cry from having to run 50, but, you know, 10. The whole time you're going to be thinking, man, I'm glad this isn't 50. That's insane. Join Strava so you too can see if Ryan really does run 10 miles today.
Well, now
Or does he do the sensible thing and blow it off, like I would do? I bet he doesn't blow it off. All right.
well, if you ran 10 miles today, you would not be blowing up. You would be blowing up your workout today.
That's true, yes. My very important workout of rest, which I think is, to be honest, I considered kayaking this morning. It was so nice, but I didn't because like I was taking rest very seriously.
Oh, you got Apple logo.
You got an Apple logo. I didn't. I got to shorten the RAM. I got a rock.
No, you got a rice phone.
Yeah, I got rice. This is what rice does to your phone. It shorts out the RAM. All right, so I see no attempt being made by this phone to make any kind of Apple logo or image whatsoever. I see about 1.8 amps on my SD-RAM line, and then the phone is, when I ask it to boot up, it's hanging out at around 0.45 amps. The only last thing that I'm going to do is just see how hot that RAM is getting. But I do see an Apple logo over here. I'm going to steal this.
This is such a bizarre password.
Yours is pretty high too, though. Oh, you made it! Look at you!
Well,
Good luck. I hope you have touch. That would suck. Looks like Ryan is going to win. Not surprising. Ryan's phone
correct.
password is correct? Nice, way to go. All right. Let's see, yeah, over here we have the RAM, just to finish this up so that you guys can see that we've got a basically on fire RAM over here. Whoops. Uh-oh. We'll move this out of the way.
Alright. I got halfway through.
Good job, Ryan. That last one was good. Did you learn some, did you solidify some things that you already knew?
Yeah, it was good reinforcement in that one.
Yeah. All right, here we go on this stream one. We have a RAM getting to 200 degrees, which is right there, and that is likely what's going on with this phone. Although I'm gonna circle back to it again. I really didn't like how that coil just was so easy to take off. And I have seen before where you could have other coils that are just kind of like not on the board all the way, and that they are preventing the natural flow of current through them, so they can't really do their jobs. So I would want to investigate that a little bit. And I'm not really convinced that this one may well be a good candidate for a CPU transfer, because I'm not 100% sure that the CPU itself is damaged. Usually when a RAM is, the CPU is as well, but I'm not 100% sure. So I will circle back to this one, but right now it is failing to boot, and it seems like it's got a hot RAM, and that's the deal with this one. So Ferdinand, I'm not doing another thing until you are 100% sure of your passcode, because I'm definitely not going to swap your CPU and then have you tell me that you don't know the passcode. So there you go. That's it for this one. And hopefully you guys learned a couple of things watching us just mess around and have fun on our day of board repair, where Ryan is the big winner as 3 versus 2. Congratulations. Have fun running 10 miles. And we'll see you on Strava. Look me up so that you too can get in shape for the